I met her the same evening that she met the love of her life. We didn't get a chance to talk too much, but I got a sense of someone who was real and very comfortable in her own skin. All this along with a fabulous movie career and confidence to bend rules to her own will. Vidya Balan has truly met success on her own terms. So unconventional. That's the word that comes to my mind every time I think of Vidya Balan. Whenever I read about her, whether it's an interview or when I watch a film or when I watch anything about you. Even today, I thought you'd come in a sari. You're dressed completely differently.
Good. I'm glad I surprised you. And I think it's not like I've decided to be unconventional. It's just who I am.
When did you first decide you wanted to be an actress?
You know, I was 11. I watched Madhuri in Ek Do Teen. I had a silk brown skirt which I would wear on my hair and twist it like she did. It was a skirt that actually belonged to my sister, but she never used it because she thought it was hideous. So I used to wear it around my hair, and in front of this floor-to-ceiling mirror that we had, I would just keep dancing to Ek Do Teen. And you know, of course, my parents and my sister and everyone thought that it's a passing fancy, because I started saying, I want to be Junior Madhuri Dixit. I got into college, I got into Xavier's, and one of my friends told me, she said, there's a poster saying, you know, looking for actors for a college campus serial. Would you want to apply? So I was just recovering from typhoid. I told my sister, I said, what can we do? She said, we'll go to a local photo studio. We took the best clothes we had, went to the local photo studio. She did, like, she put a little blush on, which in those days we used to call rouge.
Yeah,
and she just combed my hair out really nicely. And we did pictures, and she kept telling me, no, you have to smile a little more. Now a little, not that much. And my sister, I think, was always... Sometimes I feel that my sister has fought more for me than she's fought for herself. Like, even when I wanted to go to Xavier's, and at that time, you know, the funder was, why go to a college that's so far? You'll have to take a train from Chembur to VT, 50 minutes and all that. But my sister said, nothing doing. She is interested. She wants to do her arts, and she's going to go to Xavier. So I really owe her a lot.
What's the age difference between
4 years. But she's always been my hero, yeah.
But there are certain parts of this journey which I mean, from what I hear, have been quite traumatic, in the sense that even after Hum Panch, when you decided that you would take the next step, which was the movies, there was a Malayalam film where it didn't quite take off. It didn't quite work out.
After Hum Panch, I did about 90 ads. It served me fine because, you know, at Xavier's, they were very particular about attendance. So I had to quit Hum Panch. But ad film shoots were like 1 or 2 days, and you made money also. So it was great. And at the same time, I could complete my college, because that was one thing my parents said, whatever happens...
College has to be completed.
South Indian.
Yes.
So for one of my ad shoots, I had gone to Chennai, and a model coordinator asked me, she said, do you want to audition for a Malayalam film opposite Mohanlal? So I gathered the guts and I called up my mother and I said, it's a film opposite Mohanlal. And we used to watch
Malayalam so there's a great
films.
Amount of respect for him as an actor.
And you know, also that Malayalam films are more story-driven.
Yes,
they're very decent. So she said, okay, but just speak to Dad once. I spoke to Dad. He also said, okay. I spoke to Priya, my sister. So I tested. Next thing I know is the director was here. And it all happened very fast. I got, you know, confirmed, and my mom came with me to the shoot. The shoot happened well, and then it stopped. It was not so much the film stopping as much as being labeled jinxed after my very first film. That was heartbreaking. And then I'd been signed on for other films, out of which I got replaced in every single film. And there were times, and I remember one time when I walked from Nariman Point to Bandra. I took a cab from Chembur. I went to Nariman Point, to NCPA, to figure out if I could watch a play or something, and nothing was on. There was so much anger. It was scorching heat, like one of these days. And I just kept walking and walking and walking and walking and walking, trying to just clear my head. It was it was just, I don't know what, sometimes I don't really know what gave me the courage. Though today when I look back, I feel like, you know, everyone says you've struggled so much and all that, and today when I look back, I feel like I've not really struggled that much. It could have been worse. I could have had people propositioning me.
Yeah,
I've
true.
heard of those things. But none of the sort, yeah.
I mean, see, there is a struggle which is external and there is a struggle
Yeah.
which is internal.
Yeah.
So rejection is something that we all fear.
Yeah.
And to be hit by it at such a young age, especially, see, when you come from a film family, this kind of rejection, you're taught
at least,
to equip.
yeah.
You're equipped to deal with. But when somebody like you comes from a conventional or a traditional South Indian family, and then suddenly you have this rejection which is facing you, where someone says you're jinxed or someone says that you're not talented enough, and
Someone says you're not beautiful. You know, and that for a girl, forget an actress, that is really, really damaging.
so people had
Someone
say,
had, I remember I was doing this Tamil film and I did one schedule and then they replaced me. And by then I had begun to fear that call saying I'd been replaced. You know, it was like every time I did something, I think our fears are self-fulfilling prophecies. And I'd begun to feel like, oh, now that call is going to happen and now they're going to tell me that, you know, they've replaced me. And actually the call happened. And my parents and I went to Chennai. And they said, you know, just look at her. She's not looking nice at all. The heroine should be... And, you know, maybe he didn't mean it like that. Maybe it was a handicap of the language. I don't know what it was. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he destroyed my self-image, my confidence, my self-esteem, everything in one shot.
so then what would you do to regain it? Because I mean, none of this baggage or none of this history is evident when one sees Parinita. It's like you have always been this confident and you are always giving this shot with this self-assurance. So where does it come from? Is it like a defiance? Is it like a defense mechanism?
No, I think I'm an eternal optimist. While I'm telling you that it destroyed me and all of that, you know, my family and my faith have always been my pillars of strength. When I say faith, it's faith in myself, faith in the universe, in God, and whatever you want to call it. I would pray a lot. There was a Sai Baba mandir close to my Chembur home where I would go and just sit and just cry and cry and cry and say, you've dangled the carrot in front of me. You better make it happen now. I don't know how.
Do you think you were allowed to make your mistakes, or would you say that people judged you too fast and they were very harsh with you?
No, I don't give anyone else that power to allow me or disallow me to make mistakes. Yes, I made my mistakes. Yes, people criticized me and that affected me and that made me question a lot of things. But I'm grateful for all of that. I think today there's too much media. They're commenting on every single thing. You come out, you know, of a flight, of a 16-hour long flight, how do you expect someone to look good? And I don't care. If I'm sleepy, I'll tie my hair up. I'll wear clothes that are crumpled. I'm not going to get into a fresh set of clothes just because someone's clicking me outside at the airport. You know, for me, it's all about comfort. So, but I do think that every step is being watched. Also today, everyone has always had an opinion. But today you have access to make that opinion public and therefore influence 5 other people. So, but I don't read anything. I don't watch anything. So I'm living in a world of my own. And this I discovered about when I went through that learning curve.
I was going to ask you that. I'm sure at that point in time you were reading and you were probably
of course I was reading.
Shattered.
Every day, Niranjan, I would pick up the paper saying, what is going to be in the papers today? You know, sometimes it was about my weight, sometimes it was about my clothes, and sometimes it was about, it rained heavily today, it must be Vidya Balan's fault. It was as ridiculous as that. You know, suddenly I was meeting people. I remember I was getting my nails done at a salon, and one lady walked up to me and said, oh my God, you're so pretty. Why can't you dress better? And you know, I wanted to slap her. I wanted to say, you know, oh my God, you look like a nice human being, but you're not.
There is a certain section of the world that believes that if you are a public figure or if you are in the glamour business, then you have no business not being dressed in a certain way.
Not being dressed a certain way, not being a certain body. And I will tell you this, I'm not one of those skinny girls. I'm a well-endowed South Indian girl, you know, with my curves in place. But there was a point where I began to feel that even at my slimmest, I was feeling big because I was being told that I needed to be maybe, I don't know how many sizes smaller. I would kill myself, work out, not eat, be unhappy therefore. But I was never perfect. Then when I put on weight, people would say, you're looking so much fresher and you're glowing, you're looking gorgeous. And I would be like, you know, what am I supposed to do?
Which part of the world am I supposed to believe?
You know, even for Parinita, they said, you know, you have to lose some amount of weight. And I lost weight. And then they said, you've lost too much weight. Then I said, okay, I put on some weight. Then throughout my life, this up, down happened until the dirty picture when I said, I don't care. I'm going to let my roles dictate what I do and how I am. And the dirty picture happened at that time. And initially when Milan told me to put on weight, I was like, you know, I've just gotten rid of the weight. This is God actually playing games.
But there are certain things that you refuse to change about yourself, because I remember this incident, I mean, I read about it, of course, that Vidhu Vinod Chopra asked you to do a nose job before Parinita, and you absolutely refused at the cost of not doing the film.
You know what had happened again? I was telling you about the weight. So they said, you'll have to lose a little weight, and I lost the weight. And they said, you've lost too much weight. They said, because of which your nose is looking longer. And then he said, you know what? I'll send you to LA in typical Vinod Chopra fashion. We'll get your nose job done. And I said, no, I'm not okay with that. And he of course didn't look shocked or anything. Maybe he was expecting it, or maybe he was just being polite. But I said, I'm not gonna, this is God-given. And this is how it's going to be. So either we work around it, or then
I remember I was there when you met Siddharth formally for the first time at Karan's house. I was at the party.
Of course.
So what made you choose Sid? Because I remember that Karan was, of course, playing Cupid.
And I didn't even know. So Karan and I are not really friends, you know. Today I've spent some time with him, but at that time I didn't really. We used to meet socially, and then he invited me over to his house, and I was like, "Who are the other people?" He said, "You know, just about 10
just
people."
Us. That's his line. That's
so I said, "Okay, cool." He said, "I enter the party and." You know, it was.
I remember you were the second last person to enter the party.
And Siddharth was
the last one to enter.
And there was a group that was huddled, and they were having some conversation, and everyone was polite and said hi and all, but they were like too much into each other, and I was like, you know, maybe I shouldn't have come. Then Siddharth walked in, and I had just done No One Killed Jessica. But the strange thing is I'd never met him on No One Killed Jessica. So now he asked me, how is the shoot coming along? And I began to talk to him. So little did I know that Karan had planned all of this. He says he always felt that we would be good together.
Yes,
God bless
and he had
him for
mentioned it also. And it was quite astute of him, because no one would have ever...
And I keep telling him, you know, I want to set you up now, because I just feel that you made you made me meet Siddharth, the love of my life partner, whatever.
So what is it about him that you know, was it like an instant attraction? Did you bond with him at the party and went back feeling that, here's an interesting guy?
No, not at all. I thought he was a nice guy, and maybe, you know, he had said he'd message or call or something for an official meeting, and I will admit that I gave it thought, but I wouldn't say that at that time I was feeling much more than that. But
he did message.
he did message, and we met up, and it was a work meeting, and but I don't know. I don't. The crazy thing is that today we've been married for close to 2 years, and if you ask me when we started seeing each other or how it all happened, I draw a blank.
Do you ever feel that Siddharth feels insecure? Have you ever seen a trace of insecurity in him when you're showered with so much of attention, especially by male co-stars?
No, I'm.
And is that why you do only female-oriented roles and female
I've
films?
been doing that from even before I met Siddharth. But no, that's not true. And after meeting Siddharth, I've done Ghanchakkar and Shaadi Ke side effects. But I think he's okay with me getting attention as long as he's the only one getting attention from me.
That's a good one.
I've cracked that. No, I'm kidding. But I think he's very, very self-assured. And again, he knows what I feel for him. So I don't think... I don't think there's any scope for insecurity.
Are you also one of those types who feels that, when there is such a vast variety of speculations about what's going on in your life, that you'd rather clarify it once and for all by issuing a press statement or a press release?
No, I don't have a publicist, firstly. And I gave one interview because they were casting aspersions on my marriage, and that's not something that I appreciate at all. Because there are, you can say things about me. I'm still okay with it. I'm an actor, and this is what I've chosen. I've chosen for you to be constantly interested in me. But my husband's not an actor, and there's no reason for you to be saying things about him. So that's why I just did one interview. But otherwise, as long as he and I know what we share and our families do.
Yeah, that was also a major part of like right now you're taking a break from actively, despite, having so many filmmakers clamoring to offer you roles. In fact, you have backed out of a very important project, especially with Sujoy.
Yeah.
So even right now, you're in the middle of being speculated about a lot.
Yeah, the day I got married, they started saying, "Are you pregnant?" Well, there will be a time to get pregnant. But it's ridiculous. I don't think a married woman can have even a cold. She's only allowed to get pregnant. Today, right here, someone said, "Congratulations." And I turned like this and I said, "For what?" She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I read something." I said, "You should stop reading." I have. When will you? No, but the thing is, I was going through some niggling health issues. And I think I've been giving my health the least importance in all these years of working. And I just felt that I should take stock at this stage. It meant opting out of Sujoy's film, which was a heartbreaking decision.
I can imagine for him as much as for you.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was one of the toughest decisions I've taken in recent times, but I had to. Because I have to also be true to myself. I was feeling exhausted. All said and done, I think in the past 7 years, there's not been a real break. And I think I owed myself this. For me to be able to commit myself completely on screen, I have to be able to live a full life off screen. So, that could be reading, watching plays or films, watching the sea sometimes, playing with my twin niece and nephew, spending time with family, going for drives. Just sometimes just staring at the ceiling.
Yeah. I can imagine. I can completely imagine, because I think those are the spaces that actually allow you to fill your mind up with things that you may not otherwise be able to think.
Yeah, also sometimes to empty your mind of all that there is,
True.
Because we're constantly filling it up. And I like those times sometimes when I'm doing nothing. I'm vegetating.
Or then times like this when you chat and you just sort of rewind and re-look at your own life.
Yeah, but I must admit to you that I've really enjoyed this because, it's just been a free-flowing conversation. And I will say this on camera. You take off from where I leave a certain answer. A lot of times people don't. They just want to finish their questions and say, "Acha, ye ho gaya, ye ho gaya."
No, but that's also
Doesn't
because
matter
you're such
what
a
you
good
say.
talker and you're so articulate about
Thank
what you feel.
So we've started the Mutual Admiration Society.
And like I said, Vidya, you had to get a souvenir or a gift for us, which we'll then sell on olx.in, and the proceeds of which will go to charity.
Right.
So what have you got for us?
I've actually got a neck piece that I picked up from Charminar in Hyderabad. I was shooting there for Bobby Jasoos and I got some time, so I went shopping. I like this local jewelry, jhumkas and neck pieces and bangles and rings and all that. I thought this is something that one can wear with Indian and Western, and therefore I brought this
it's beautiful.
along. Isn't it?
It's really lovely.
I love it. So I hope someone with a large heart will open a very large purse for this because it's for a good cause.
Yes. And you'd also write a message to whoever is going to buy this thing. Yeah. Now we'll sell this on olx.in and the viewers can buy it from there. Thank you so much. Now it's my turn to be vain. I'm going to take a selfie with you now. Yeah?
Come on.
Selling has never been easier. Download the OLX application, click a picture of your product and upload. Select the category of your product. Enter your details and just click on sell. So what are you waiting for? OLX pe bech de.